Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther the Third.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe the Panther the Third, and man, oh man, Ringside crew, you're in for a treat. Today we add another awesome name to our wall of fame from the UK. We've had so many past 4 years I've done this podcast. I've had so many awesome wrestlers from the UK countries, but now I'm going to add another one to my wall of fame. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Katie.
Hi.
Welcome, Katie. Welcome. So, if my internationally known audience is not familiar with you, and why would they not be, introduce yourself.
So I do backstage interviewing for Future Shock, and I've done ring announcing as well for a few different promotions around the UK as well. But mainly I work with Future Shock, and I have been a past trainee there as well, and I'm slowly coming back after injury as well.
Oh, wow. So, who trained you in the Future Shock?
So I originally started because I had no intention on being as involved in wrestling as I ended up becoming. I did the 4-week beginner course and back in April 2022. And I did the 4-week beginner course and just expected to just have fun and learning how to wrestle. And then it kind of took over my life a little bit from there. So I did that under Sam Bailey. He's the head trainer at Future Shock PC in Manchester. So I did my 4-week beginner course. I was training with Lana Austin a little bit as well. And then I broke my ankle. So then I started moving over towards the interviewing and announcing side of things as well.
So what is your favorite thing more, to be a backstage interviewer or be a ring announcer?
I love interviewing. I love being backstage interviewer. It's just so much fun. I like being involved in all the storylines and what's happening next. And it's really cool to be a part of from the start to the beginning of people's journey, straight after the matches and how they're feeling and what's been going on. So it's nice to be a part of.
Okay, cool. So who is your favorite person to announce when you're doing ring announcing?
That's tough. Possibly Tony Wright or Ivy. If you're familiar with them, Tony Wright has an incredible entrance. He comes out to Lady Marmalade.
And
he dances on the ring apron, and he's amazing.
Wait, does he have almost like a skirt, like a shoulder thing he comes out with, pointy shoulders?
No, he has it's almost like armor, on his shoulders. He's
short hair, kind of like floofy a little bit.
No, it's he's I don't even know how you'd explain it. He usually has it down here.
Okay, I'm trying to think, because I think I've mentioned I've spoken to him once or twice on Instagram, and we're trying to work on a date, but it's UK working time.
Well, he's unfortunately he's out with injury at the moment, so you might be able to get your chance to get him on.
Well, if you speak to him, tell him Joe Panther III loves his UK guests. Say loves, and they're like Warner Brothers, hearts in the eyes, coming galloping. No, I meant I like everybody. So have you ever thought of doing your interviewing or announcing out of the anywhere else in the UK or in America?
Yeah, so I mean, my partner is Jinner. He's he's a luchador, and he wrestles in America quite a lot. So I go over with him, and I do a lot of we've started doing some manager stuff together as well, ringside manager stuff. But yeah, we're going back over in March for a month and traveling and doing a load of shows around the US. So it'd be really cool to be able to meet some people and have the chance to do it over there as well.
That's awesome. So when you come to the States, what is your favorite thing to do? Do you like to travel around the state, that town or area you're in, or do you like to just hang around and just find your own adventures?
Well, I went to the States for the first time in March, and we only stayed in LA and San Diego. This time around, we get to travel around quite a lot, so excited for that. Last time we did a few of the touristy stuff. We chose like a couple of tourist days to do like Hollywood and like Venice and Santa Monica and all like the touristy things. But honestly, we went for around Mania time as well. So there was so many shows on. So it was very much a wrestling trip for us. And that's how we like it, because wrestling is so huge in the States. It's just we like going to all the different indie shows and travel around and stuff. So it'll be cool to have the opportunity to do it outside of LA this time as well.
Yeah, it's like when you go to on your travels, is it for you like when you eat like after a show? What is like your favorite food to like that's a must for you?
So it depends really. So in the UK, it's pretty much a Brit Rest tradition that you get a McDonald's on the way home from a show. That's like we all end up going to the same McDonald's and bumping into each other when we go home at the end of the night, because that's kind of like the tradition. Only because that's usually the only place that's open that late at night in the UK. But when we were in America last time, the Mexican food, we love burritos and tacos. That's the perfect food to finish your night with.
Yeah. So if like do you collect anything when you travel, or like when you're doing your shows with your partner, you grab anything from the little towns you go to?
We've started actually. So me in general, outside of wrestling, I love traveling. So for me, for holiday destinations or wrestling, I usually collect shot glasses. But we have started making sure we grab posters from each of the shows and like places we go to as well now.
Awesome. So like with you within like pro wrestling, like did you ever think you would be doing what you're doing now? Like interviewing and ring announcing?
No, I didn't even expect to get as far as the 4 weeks that I did at Future Shock. I went in completely blind because I just really loved wrestling and I just really wanted to learn how to do it. And then Future Shock's such a great place to be. Like it is, it's a big family, and I got so involved it kind of sucked me in, and then it's just completely taken over my life. And honestly, if you'd have told me a couple of years ago that this would be my life, I'd have laughed you out of the room probably, because yeah, it's very much massive part of my life now that I'd never expected to happen.
Do you have any crazy stories from like the road or like the day of a show?
There's usually always something, to be fair, on the day of a show, isn't there? There's always something happens. I'm trying to think of one in particular. Possibly Catch is probably a good example. So Catch Pro Wrestling in Manchester is an absolutely great promotion.
I know about them, yeah.
Scott, the promoter, is such advocate of women's wrestling, which is amazing to see. And they had a bit of an incident where they didn't have a ring announcer last minute. So I'd gone to the show. Jinna was on the show. So I'd gone as a fan for once. I'd actually just gone to kind of watch the show and hang out. So I went with like no makeup on and like Crocs and leggings and Jinna merch on. And I ended up announcing the whole show. For the first half of the show with about 5 minutes notice. So that was pretty crazy because I was just there to watch the show and then ended up getting an announcing job within that. So
like it's so crazy because I'm familiar with that promotion you just said, and I've had on Mr. Valentine, which is the big buff guy that's part of that promotion. And I've been trying, I don't know if he's still there. He was wrestling there for a while, Valentine.
I'm not sure.
Maybe he's not there. Maybe he left wrestling, but he was part of that Chase, Catch. I always get the name confused. Chase, Catch, Grab.
Yeah.
It sounds almost the same. But yeah, definitely would love to have him on the podcast, because if you tell him February is Women's Wrestling Month, maybe that'll like loosen him up a little bit, because we tried in the past, but we really couldn't knock it out of the park and get like him to do an episode with me. But like definitely tell him about Women's Wrestling Month in February, and maybe we could do a spotlight for you guys with the women's division of his promotion.
Yeah, he's he's great, Scott. He really is. It's nice to see someone that's such a big advocate for it, and he always books and puts on great shows as well, even outside of women's wrestling. It's always a great show, Catch.
Awesome. So is there anything you like you're doing coming up that you want to talk about before we leave?
So it's Joseph. Well, we're at the end of the year, aren't we? So it's been a bit of a mad year for me because I went from being a trainee last year to kind of being so heavily involved in other aspects of wrestling, and obviously getting to travel a lot with Jenna as well. It's been a really big year for him, which just means that I've got to experience the same and get to go and see a load of different shows and promotions and meet new people. And I'm really thankful as well because Chris Brooker at Future Shock, I started doing the promo classes with him, and he kind of gave me the opportunities to do the interviewing and announcing that I'm doing. So it's been a bit of a mad year for me because I kind of got thrust into it and out of nowhere, and it's kind of been a bit of a blur really. And as we're coming to like the end of the year now, I'm excited for next year. It's going to be quite busy next year. We're getting to a lot of traveling and shows and hopefully more announcing. I'd love to do some out in the States when we come back over in March. So
definitely put on your notepad on if you're gonna. I know you say you'll be in New York, but definitely if you could travel to Pennsylvania, put on PPW on the list of pages you'd look up in Slatington, PA, because they have some great wrestlers that are there, like the Danny Moes, Facades. Oh my gosh, we have so many wrestlers here, and the fans would definitely embrace you from being from overseas, because I don't think they've ever had any talent announcers or commentary come from the UK and come, hey, can we help? And if you go to the show, if you ever come to the show to sit down, if I'm there, I'll be like, hey, I'll introduce you to the owner, Paul Bowe. Hey, shout out to Paul. PPW is a great promotion. It's out of Slatington, PA. And they're always live on Fight TV.
Yeah, amazing. So I think last time I came out to the States, I came out just with Jenna as a fan and with him to support him. And this time round, obviously doing the announcing and stuff, it would be really great to network and have the opportunity to do some more. So yeah,
and you can also meet Joe Panther the Third too. So
yes, definitely. I mean, I love coming over. I love meeting people. I mean, the wrestling, your indie scene in America is so big, isn't it? And it's great. I love coming over and meeting everyone.
And it's funny, where I live in PA, the wrestling scene is big, but it's like, I'm old school wrestling. I'm old school independent wrestling. I'm so used to seeing a cool poster, brightly neon poster. And my friends are like, how'd you not know there was a show in Allentown, PA yesterday, Joe? I'm like, I didn't see a poster. Joe, did you just say you didn't see a poster? Yeah, you didn't go on their Instagram page or the Facebook page? I'm like, I'm not connected to people's Facebook pages. I'm not always at my laptop scrolling and typing in wrestling promotions near you. I have to see a poster or something to know when the show is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I understand that. I mean, we got the opportunity to go to and work with Global Lucha in San Diego back in March, and like they are really on it with the postering, and like they do such a good job of it. They've got a really good thing going there, and it's really nice to see because it's not so big anymore in the UK either.
Yeah. Well, with their kid, like our younger audience watching, hey guys, if they wanted to get into the wrestling business, what kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, that's tough. See, I came into it quite late, so I don't even know really. I mean, in the couple of years I've been involved with the scene, it's changed quite a lot. I'd just say, take your time and don't put too much pressure on yourself, and don't worry about what other people are doing. Just focus on you and your journey and your learning, and that's probably the advice I'd give.
Awesome.
It can be so much. Sorry. It can be really easy to be wrapped up in how well everyone else's training journey is going. So best to just focus on yourself.
I want to thank you so much, Katie, for taking my opportunity coming on the podcast. I want to wish you all the best on your travel and safe trip coming to the States, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking my opportunity. I'm Joe Panther III.
I'm Katie.
And we will catch you in the next one. Have a good night or have a good day.